but by decision. And just like that, the entire NASCAR community froze for a moment, trying to understand what just happened. Because this wasn't just another update. This was something bigger, something that instantly raised questions. Why was he rejected? Was it about skill? Was it about experience? Or was there something more behind the scenes? And then came his response. A response that may have changed the entire story. Talladega is not a normal racetrack. It's not just about speed. It's about control at extreme speed. Cars run inches apart. Drivers rely on each other. Every decision is made in a split second. And at that level, there is no room for hesitation, no room for uncertainty, because one small misjudgment can affect not just one driver, but the entire field. That's why Talladega has always been treated differently. It's not just another race, it's a test. And that's where the situation with Cleetus McFarland becomes complicated. Cleetus didn't come from the traditional racing system. He didn't follow the usual path of development series, gradual progression, and structured training. Instead, he built his name in a completely different way, through passion, through creativity, through connecting with fans in a way very few drivers ever have. He turned motorsports into something more accessible, more entertaining, and more personal. And because of that, he built a massive following. But in NASCAR, things work differently. Popularity doesn't guarantee opportunity. Effort alone isn't enough. Every driver has to meet a certain standard, a standard based on consistency, awareness, and the ability to handle pressure at the highest level. Leading up to Talladega, the attention around Cleetus was growing fast. Fans were excited, curious. Some were fully supportive, believing he deserved the chance to prove himself. Others were cautious. They questioned whether he was ready for a track like this, because Talladega doesn't give second chances easily. And then came the decision. NASCAR said no. Not in a dramatic way, not with loud controversy, but in a firm, controlled, and very clear decision. Cleetus McFarland would not be racing at Talladega, and just like that, everything shifted. Fans reacted instantly. Some were confused, some were frustrated. Some tried to understand the reasoning, because from the outside, it didn't seem simple. This wasn't about one bad performance. This wasn't about one mistake. This was about something bigger. From NASCAR's perspective, Talladega requires a very specific level of readiness. Drivers must be able to handle close drafting at high speeds, constant pressure from surrounding cars, split-second decisions that affect multiple drivers. It's not just about controlling your own car. It's about understanding the entire field. And that level of awareness doesn't come easily. It takes time, experience, and repetition at the highest level. So for NASCAR, the decision likely came down to one thing: readiness. But for fans, that wasn't enough. Because they've seen Cleetus improve. They've seen his dedication. They've seen how seriously he takes racing, and that's why the debate exploded again. Some fans supported NASCAR. They believed the decision was necessary, that safety and standards must always come first. Others disagreed. They felt Cleetus had earned the opportunity, that his growth deserved a chance, that sometimes potential should be tested, not restricted. And just like that, the community was divided again. But then, everything changed, because Cleetus McFarland responded. And his response wasn't what many expected. There was no anger, no frustration, no attempt to turn the situation into controversy. Instead, there was focus. He acknowledged the decision, he respected the process, and most importantly, he made it clear that this wasn't the end. That response mattered more than anything else. Because in moments like this, reactions define everything. He could have used this moment to create noise, to gain attention, to challenge the decision publicly. But he didn't. He chose a different path, a path that showed maturity, discipline, and something even more important, long-term thinking. And that changed how people saw him. Fans who were unsure started to respect him more. Critics began to reconsider their opinions. Supporters became even more confident in his future. Because now, the story wasn't just about rejection. It became about determination. About what happens after being told, not yet. Because in racing, that moment matters more than anything. You don't always get the opportunity when you expect it. You don't always get the chance when you feel ready, but what you do next, that's what defines your path, and Cleetus made his direction very clear. He's coming back, stronger, more prepared, more focused. And that's what makes this story powerful, because this isn't the end of something. It's the beginning of something bigger. Inside NASCAR, stories like this are not new. Many drivers have faced moments where they were told to wait, where they had to prove themselves again, where they had to go back, improve, and return stronger. Ross Chastain is one of those examples.
Chastain did a video game move! Put the car against the wall wide open all the way around turn 3 and 4!
He wasn't always seen as a top driver. He had to fight for every opportunity. He had to prove himself step by step. And eventually, he changed the narrative. Cleetus now stands at a similar turning point. Not the same journey, but the same kind of challenge. To take doubt and turn it into proof. To take rejection and turn it into motivation. Because in NASCAR, respect is not given, it's earned. And sometimes, the hardest moments are the ones that build the strongest drivers. Now, all eyes are on what comes next. How will Cleetus respond on track? How will he continue to improve? How will he prove that he's ready for opportunities like Talladega? Because one thing is certain, people are watching now, more than ever before. Not just to judge her, but to see the outcome of this story. Because every great journey has a moment like this. A moment where everything stops. A moment where the path becomes uncertain. And then, a decision is made. Not by the organization, not by the fans, but by the driver. And Cleetus McFarland just made his. This isn't where his story ends. This is where it begins.